Hi Mermaid Junkies, how are you? I hope you're doing well. I wanted to talk to you for a few minutes about um, what my particular video today is about, but I also wanted to kind of explain what had happened. If you guys are subscribers to my channel, you know that I put out two videos. Was it the beginning of the week? I think it was on Monday. Anyway, regardless of that, there was one video that I did, and it was like Raquel's ramblings, but it was also a little bit about jealousy, but I removed that video, and I just wanted to explain why I had removed the video and help you to understand why I did it. So obviously, you know that I'm very transparent and I'm very open with how I'm feeling and what emotions are taking place and stuff. And so when I shot the video, I didn't think that I was having, I didn't think that I was on a really negative momentum, but I guess the further the video got towards the end, I realized that like these emotions of momentum were coming out about me being a little bit, irritable or something. And so you guys know me, and you know I'm very big on after my transformation and along my journey. I'm very, very intuitive of energy and what I put out in my videos. And so I knew that if I left that video out, that it would attract people and it would attract viewers. But you know that I don't care all about that. I mean, my main focus is giving and sending out messages of inspiration and love and how to create a life that you love. And so as much as I would get feedback from that video, I know that it was not for me personally, it wasn't coming from like a really good place. Plus, I did have tons of profanity, which I don't care. I'm not very... I'm not one to really care so much about what people think about because I curse or whatever. But the reason that I was a little bit apprehensive about that is because if you follow me on my social media or whatever, you know that I am illustrating and having 3 books, they're children's books published. And so as much as that doesn't, that I'm trying to, it sounds like I'm trying to like go back and forth, but as much as I am transparent, I know that my social media will follow me around forever. And I just really would rather not have, now, I mean, I cuss like a sailor, but I would really rather not have, explicit on a video, because I never know who's going to watch that, who's going to dig up, my past, my history and stuff. And so I didn't want to leave it out there, but I will go ahead and talk to you again on this video because I feel like I'm really calm and I don't have any kind of apprehension as far as that goes. And I wanted to talk about jealousy and you being able to receive the information that I'm giving you and be able to absorb it and take it in and kind of, digest it. And then maybe that will be able to still be able to help you if you're just, having issues with jealousy. Okay, so what is jealousy and how you can understand what jealousy is, and basically what the contrast of emotion, that the emotion of jealousy is teaching us, and it's kind of helping us because, like I said, jealousy is an emotion and a feeling that probably most people have. Some people maybe have it more than others if they've had like a really powerful and strong childhood that gave you lots of resistance and lots of contrast. And so like I speak from my own personal journey and how jealousy has been very difficult for me in my past before my transformation. I barely ever deal with it now. I mean, there's ebbs and flows of it, don't get me wrong, but it's not something that's in my conscious vibration at this moment in my life because I feel like I've been able to recognize what it is, what the emotion is telling me, because basically it's the universe showing me through almost like showing us like a report card, you know? So if we're having these contrasting moments and these feelings and emotions of jealousy, then I'm going to help you understand what it's all about and why we have it and what it's trying to teach us. So jealousy is the emotion of feeling like that you don't have something that someone else has. Now, we know that's probably like, oh, well, I knew that, Raquel. That's not that's not a given. I mean, that's a given. But I think that people don't recognize that takes it one step further, because sometimes people can be jealous of certain things in a person and not be jealous of them in other aspects. And the reason for that is because the reason for that particular jealousy and emotion is, say for instance, you're envious of someone else that has a really good like soulmate twin flame relationship. And you feel that when you've noticed that person or you've come into contact with that person, you have these really high intense levels of jealousy with this person, right? Well, what it's telling you is that in your vortex, which is like this kind of like escrow of your inner being, and it's telling you that you have that particular desire for your own life, which means that you have a great desire to have a twin flame soulmate relationship for yourself. And it's in your vortex. It's as soon as you can line up with those emotions and those feelings of recognizing that that is a desire of yours, that you placed that probably in there and you were unconscious of it at a particular time in your life. But it's there being held, and when you can align with that particular part of yourself, you can actually have that particular relationship that you desire, that you're now envious of in someone else. And so basically what it is that the universe is showing you, see, you have a great desire. This is in your vortex for what this particular person has. And so you need to line up with your particular desire. So that's what jealousy teaches us, is that it teaches us that whatever we feel jealous of in a particular person or people, plural, whatever, that means that we have that same desire for ourselves. Because let me give you an example. Okay. Oh, I know. This is a good one. Okay, so I knew of this girl years ago, and she actually lived in this really, really cute cottage in Europe. And she was a friend of mine. And at a certain point, I think before I became friends with her, I was actually a little envious of her, because I was like, I want to live in a cute little cottage in Europe, you know, or not necessarily Europe, but I would love to live in one in Carmel. And so I was really, I could feel myself, as much as I loved my friend, and I wasn't vindictive in my jealousy or anything like that, like talking about her negatively or anything, but I could feel my internal being feeling a little rigid, like, ugh, why does she get to have a cottage already? What's taken me so long? I want one too, you know? And so I would feel resistance in that when I would, you know, when she would share pictures with me or whatever of this particular cottage, and I'm just like, oh, I really like it, you know? Now, obviously, it wasn't exactly, you know, the kind of cottage that I wanted or whatever, but it had this sense of, anyway, the whole point is that she had a cottage already and I wanted a cottage. And until I was able to make peace with that and realize, you know what, I can have a cottage too. Nobody says there's nobody telling me I can't have a cottage. You know, it was my own internal belief system thinking, you're not able to have that, or you can't have what this particular person has. And that's the other thing with jealousy. And I think a lot of times that people will think, or people have been conditioned and raised to believe that if someone else has something that we want, that we maybe can't have it. And that's a very scarcity mentality to live in. And so if you can just realize that jealousy isn't all bad. The one beautiful aspect of jealousy, the emotion of jealousy, is anyway, I got cut off, but what I was saying is the one beautiful aspect about the emotion of jealousy is that it's showing us what we really desire in life. And like, here's another example. Like, have you ever been around someone, or I'm sure you probably, have had these experiences a lot, is that whatever they're doing doesn't affect you. Now, let me explain. Okay, so I have several friends that are photographers, and I no way and near ever feel like, oh, I wish I had their career, or oh, I wish I had that client, or oh, I wish I was doing that, or I wish I was traveling here or there for that particular job or whatever. And it's like, with with photography, I have no desire whatsoever. Like, I think it's wonderful. I appreciate their photography, but like, there is not a minuscule of jealousy within inside me. And that is my report card from the universe explaining to me that I don't have jealousy in that area. So that means that is not in my reservoir of something that I desire. Does that make sense? So yeah, I always itch I don't know, for one reason or another, my ears always seem to itch. Maybe it's telling me something. But anyway, like, don't they say, like, if your nose itches or your ears itch or something, that means somebody's talking about you? I don't know. But anyway, that was just a little sidestep. But so that is an example of how jealousy, the emotion of jealousy, plays into our lives. And so the next time, this is a beautiful little exercise that you could do, is the next time that you feel those emotions of jealousy rise within you, understand it's not about that particular person that is exhibiting what you desire. It's actually your internal being telling you, look, pay attention to this. This must be a desire within you that you want to have as well. And you can have, that's the other thing I want to encourage and inspire you in, is that anything in this universe that you so desire to have, there is nothing to keep you from your particular desire than you not lining up with that particular desire. Because the universe doesn't know whether or not something is real or not real, because everything is energy, right? And so law of attraction, you attract what you think about. So if you want to attract a cottage, in Carmel, like myself, well, then I just need to line up with that particular desire. So I'm the only one. You are the only one keeping you from your particular desires in life, whether that's money or a beautiful relationship or a healthy lifestyle or a healthy body or a baby, whatever it is. You are the only one that's keeping you from your desires. No one else. No one's keeping you from it. And so that's a beautiful little exciting thing to experience, because isn't that freeing to think that? Like, once I realized that within myself and my own journey, like through the practice of law of attraction, is that, oh my goodness, I can have anything I really want. All I have to do is be responsible and say, Raquel, you need to line up with this particular desire, and then it will happen. And I've been able to exhibit that so many times in my life. Some things I have a little bit more contrast and belief systems to work through, but that's how life is. I mean, we all have these different things that we need to work through, but that's the fun part, is when you can recognize that, and you can recognize where you have contrast and what you need to work through, and it's just a really exciting thing. And so if there's anything I want to help you to understand, it's that you can have all of your desires, and that jealousy doesn't have to be a negative emotion, you know, in the sense that it doesn't feel good necessarily when you're having it, because it's like, you know, you can kind of get off on a tangent. I mean, okay, so I'll speak from experience for myself, but I used to be able to get off on a tangent and be like irritated and whatever, but I realized that, you know what, after practicing law of attraction, the more you get into that momentum, the more you're blocking yourself from your desire. So try to remember that, to appreciate the contrast of jealousy, understand where it's coming, where it's derivative of, right? Where it's coming from, and what it's telling you. That means that you have also that desire. And so, and then you can move forward with realizing, you know what, it has nothing to do with this particular person. They're just the representation of the universe showing me what I do so desire as well. And so, you know, not to be angry at my girlfriend that lives in Europe that has a cottage. I mean, it's like a given for her. She lives in Europe. I mean, you know, it's like, it's no big deal to her because she has one. But like, you live in the States or whatever, and it's less likely that you are going to have like a cobblestone cottage. You know what I mean? So anyway, but I was very happy when I realized that, is that, oh my goodness, I can totally have a cottage too. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, you can totally have a soulmate relationship, twin flame, if you so desire to have that. All you have to do is line up with it. And so I think that's so exciting. Don't you think that's so exciting? Oh my God, I get excited just thinking about it. So I wanted to share that with you. And this is more of a polar opposite of the video that I shot before. And I just wanted to explain why I deleted that, and not that I'm embarrassed or humiliated or anything, but because I have this, you know, book launching going to happen in 2018, I just really need to have clean energy space. I need to have a good, what do you call it? Like a good, like the way I'm presented on social media. So it needs to be a very positive, you know, approach to it. And so I apologize for doing that to you guys. And I know that I had several people reach out and say, why'd you take it down? Why'd you take it down? But I just explained to you in a beautiful way, a beautiful aspect of what I was actually saying on the video with good energy. And I hope this served you. I hope you guys have a great weekend. And as always, I'm yours until my next swim. Ciao.